Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Top Tier Talk. Elliot, we're starting with you. There was some game in midweek and a 1-1 draw against Brentford at the weekend. So take it with the
Absolutely.
weekend.
Yes, at the weekend. Okay, we'll start with that one. That's fine. Well, to be fair, I think I mentioned this to you multiple times. I think in the past, I'd say 3 game weeks. I've given up on the Premier League. I've almost kind of just written that off. Even though someone come up to me today and did say that if we'd managed to win the previous, I think like 6 games, and Liverpool had their form as they did now, we'd only be 2 points behind them. It's a bit annoying, but here we are. We're at the other end of that. There's no point crying over spilled milk. As I say, I've written off the Premier League now. My main focus is on hopefully getting somewhere in the Champions League. Currently, obviously, at the moment, we'll touch on the Brentford game. Um, 1-1, as I say, it seems to be a complete different downslide since the Real Madrid game. It seems everyone was. It seems to be everyone's got that mindset that they don't really care about what's going on in the Premier League, so they just play like basic football, almost to kind of keep their fitness up for the Champions League because no one really decided to put in a bit of effort. Something's going wrong with Odegaard. I don't know what's going wrong with that boy. He just seems to have dropped form ever since his injury at the start of this season for some reason. So God knows what's going on with that boy. But yeah, look, we played a different kind of team towards what we're gonna, I'm presuming, play minus Partey on Wednesday against Madrid. For some reason, I'm hearing a lot of talk from Real Madrid saying they're going to play motivational videos. They're going to close the roof. They're going to add the ultras in to add loads of noise. They're going to do everything in their power because Arsenal's the most unstoppable force in the world, according to them. Do you know what I mean? We so 1-1 went Brentford. It is what it is. We move on. But moving on to the one of the best games I've seen for Arsenal play this season. 3-0 Arsenal against Real Madrid. What a game. I mean, you were watching it with me. I mean, you can't even doubt, you can't even say that we didn't play well. We played fantastic football. I don't think there was a player in that team that played a foot wrong for Arsenal.
Uh, even Kiwior after the first 2 minutes was solid.
Yeah,
We talked about it just before it started. I was like, I think you guys might do something. I don't know why it was in my head, and obviously, uh, we'll talk about each goal. You did do something very big.
exactly. I know obviously people will say it's lucky to be able to get two free kicks like that, and it's lucky, it's luck, whatever. But to be able to transform two of those free kicks into absolute masterpieces that'll probably be remembered for a very long time in the Champions League is fantastic from Rice. You know, I think there was a stat where it said from a direct free kick we haven't scored one since 2021. I'm glad to see Odegaard get knocked off his reign a bit for free kicks because all he does is bake terrible crosses in the box and it doesn't work. So it's nice to see Rice have a go at goal and it obviously pay off twice, which is fantastic. I don't know which one's better. In my opinion, the second goal, top bins, was
Second.
absolutely
Yeah.
Oh,
marvelous,
100%.
beautiful goal. But then to finalise it as well with a Marino goal, slotted it in the bottom left corner. Oh, it's just summed it up. To be fair, Bellingham put it perfectly in one of the post-match interviews. He generally said we could have won 4-5-0. I think Courtois was their saving grace in that game. There were so many opportunities that we could have put away, and it's just Courtois being 6'7" and an absolute beast in goal. Fair play to him. But 3-0 against Real Madrid, obviously at this moment, gives us an absolute advantage going into this Wednesday game. I know obviously there's loads of people saying you're going to get white 4-0, blah blah blah, everything like that. But look, to have an advantage at 3-0, because I remember when we were discussing this game before, I was generally saying I'd be happy with a 1-0 or even maybe, and then you guys were like, yeah, but you'd be happy with a draw as well. So to go into this game higher
No Arsenal
expectations,
fan confidently would have turned around before that game in an interview or to their mates and went, "We're winning this 3-0."
There
Not
will.
No,
not
there was
one single
one. There was
fan.
Ty,
one.
Ty.
Hell, there was one. No. There was a random guy they asked on the street before he went into the game, like in the stadium. He was like, "We're going to win 3-0 today." And they
fair
actually,
enough. Fair play to that guy because I generally thought it'd be lucky to get away with a 1-0 win against Madrid, but we ran away with three. So big advantage. You know, that's our main focus. As I say, that'll be one of the biggest games in our Champions League history, probably. If it continues to be to the point where we win the semi-final, it depends on who wins tomorrow out of Villa and PSG. Because PSG are looking very scary at the moment. Their injuries have now come back. Dembele is now back. Who's that youngster? That
Toure
Doure,
as
is
well.
it? Doure,
Toure,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He looks
Very
very
good.
good.
he's unreal.
Fabian Ruiz in the midfield looks good. Like they've got a very strong team compared to what we played against. I think it was like October when we beat them 2-0. So, so we'll have to see. So, oh,
Oh,
camera's gone down.
quick word on Mikel Marino and who is to praise the most aside from himself, obviously. How has that worked? Why is that working? Why is a central midfielder scoring goals like that? Because that was very clinical.
Yeah, no, agreed. I can't tell you, unfortunately. I can't put my finger on it. It's nice to see though, because if someone said to you like you're buying a central midfielder who's got what was it like 6 goals since the January transfer, you'd think no, that's not possible. So that's actually a generally bit of excellent business. I know obviously people are saying if you had a striker you could be doing this, but we're doing it at the moment with him up top. So what's the problem?
I was going to say, I think it's a good problem to have. Not that like come summer you're going to sign a striker. Like he won't. I'd like to think for your sake he won't be your starting striker next season, but he has filled that gap well. But I think it's also. I was just going to touch on from when you were saying about like the actual like Madrid scores. Like if you do lose 4-0 or you go out, no matter which way you look at it, as good as that 3-0 was, it will be a complete failure.
It'll be in vain, correct.
No matter whether you're playing Madrid, who we've seen it happening against Chelsea, happening against City, happening against Inter within the last sort of 5 or 6 years.
Mhm.
Whereas, or you're playing, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Brighton, for
No,
I was thinking of a Premier League team. Do you
No,
know what I
Dan,
mean?
I get where you're coming from, but I also partially agree with Chavez on how we should play against Madrid. Obviously, everyone's saying we could lose 4-0 against Madrid coming up, but I
You
generally think we
can't
should keep
sit back.
we should keep our same pattern that we did against them at the Emirates. Just play because
Play
that
football.
Martinelli long ball counter attack will be sweet in the 21st minute. It'll be so good because they'll just
But
play
it's
attacking, and then just lob it over. Perfect.
and that's the thing. If you
Written.
sit back for 90 minutes, that's why teams
That's what
get
kills
battered and
games.
lose there.
Yeah,
Well, it's not
yeah,
even
yeah, yeah,
kills.
yeah.
It kills games for your team because you just invite 90 minutes of pressure on. And teams like Madrid, whether they've got Mbappe who can't necessarily run in behind against a low block, he'll still score from. Do you know what I mean? He can score from anywhere. So it's players like that that ruins the game.
It
But I
seems to be
suppose
that a lot of Madrid players have lost their head since that game as well. I think obviously Mbappe red card in the La Liga. I'm
that
not
was a
sure if you guys
horrendous
saw.
tackle as
That
well.
was a bad tackle. Vinny Jr. making an Insta post about how it's a must-win game, but like this has sparked a lot of controversy between like the rest of the world of football and Arsenal fans, in my opinion. It's very nice to see.
To lead on from that, I would like to say a few words.
Arteta out.
Real
Yeah,
Madrid, I humbly ask you to beat Arsenal.
Love
that's
from a
not
mere
enough.
kiss.
Needs to be 4-0, mate.
Yeah, they can beat
Yeah,
us 1-0 and we'll
it
still
could be
go through.
1-0.
Let this Arsenal journey end on Wednesday. Let us laugh at Elliot Gregg, the most decorated club in the world, the most decorated club in history.
To all of our fans who are
Do this for
watching,
us.
if
Hala
Arsenal
Madrid.
wins,
Hala
Amir
Madrid,
wears an
guys.
Arsenal shirt.
Guys, if it's not Real Madrid, I'm begging Inter Milan,
Into Milan.
Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Aston Villa, and
PSG.
PSG.
Yeah, the team that's actually 3-1 up in their leg.
Please, just
No,
do
but
it
I was
for
going
us.
to say one thing, Dan, I disagree on a bit. If Arsenal were to go out, I think Arsenal could go to the Bernabeu, have a very good game, and still be out of the Champions League on Wednesday. We're talking.
Yeah.
It can happen. I mean, even in a game where they lost 3-0, did you not feel scared when Mbappe got the ball with it? You know what they're capable of. If
Yeah,
they
Oh
we
yeah,
start,
no,
do,
but being 3-0 up is
yeah,
No,
it's
no,
a
I
big
don't
it's a
think.
big
you
difference.
can do it to Madrid, then
Do
Madrid
you know
can
what
do
this is, guys?
Camavinga's out as well, which I'll be honest, he was one of their integral midfielders against us at the Emirates. He was very
Well,
good.
this is what I was going to say. Like quite a lot of people on Twitter were going, Courtois the only Madrid player that can walk off with his head over high. Yes, he conceded 3 goals.
He was
Two of
very
the,
good.
like
Yeah,
all three were brilliant goals, but it's
yeah,
people said it could have been 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
yeah. I
Like,
said, yeah, it could have been easy.
suppose moving on
Yeah.
to someone who had a bit of a better week, well, a bit of a worse week. Sorry. I mean, 3-0 in the Conference League in midweek and a 2-2 draw against Ipswich. Sancho finally, getting another goal for your club. Is he worth the
For
money?
Um,
Ipswich.
he is worth the money. Absolutely disgraceful. As I said before, Maresca is the only Italian manager in the history of Italian managers with no tactics. Um, I'm absolutely disgusted. 4 points Ipswich have gained on us all season. It's Charity FC. It is bottling top four FC. It is just nothing FC really. I mean, Man City won, Newcastle won, Villa won. They all put pressure on us to get top four, and I did say top four. Since considering everyone puts in a title race in like December, is the drop off's been crazy, and it's a bit like Dan. You said last year at Leicester, they had a bit of a drop off after Christmas or at some
They
point.
nearly threw away the league title
Exactly,
between
they nearly
like
threw it
March
after being
onwards.
so far ahead. He's really banking on the Conference League, and if we don't win that, then I will be Maresca out, and I will be telling you guys that because if we don't, because I said to you guys top four and Conference League. If he doesn't reach any of them, then yeah, Maresca
Okay,
out.
so one of
Unfortunately,
them,
I'll be at the
And
game on.
top
Huh?
four
I
is
will
fine.
be. What do you say?
If you just get top four, it's fine.
Yeah, even if we just get top four, one or the two,
But
one of
I
the
was going to say I will actually because I just
Champions League football or a trophy, really.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
going to say
Um,
I looked at the table. So currently Newcastle are in fourth. Obviously, we're saying fifth. Fifth does now officially
they've got
get
game in
UCL,
hand
doesn't
as
it?
well. They've
But
got
Newcastle
game
have
in hand.
game in hand. City are 1 point ahead of you. Obviously with what?
Villa, I think, are joint with us, and I think who there's one more team that's like 2 points behind or is very
Oh no,
close.
Fulham have dropped off now. They're 6 points behind, but they've got a game in hand against tonight against Bournemouth, so it could go either way. So it
It's
could be
just
3 points.
it's just that like it's just classic us to go 2-0 down and just crap defense as always. Cole Palmer hasn't scored, and I think it's in 11. And I think Nicholas Jackson hasn't scored in 15 or something ridiculous. But the assists are still there from Cole Palmer, so he's still contributing. Yeah,
What do you
I
think of
don't.
Palmer being out of position, Amir? I've heard he's being put in a position where he's not performing as well, left wing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Are you sure? Because Sancho was a.
I don't know. I just saw a tweet. That's
Oh,
very current generation of me.
I don't
He,
know. It's
he might
because
have been. I was good.
Neto was there. Unless he put Neto on, I don't think he put Neto on the right. I don't know.
What
I
is
was
it
good.
with Palmer though? Why is he not scored in like what was it, 13 games or something? What's going on?
I don't know because it's not confidence because he's still assisting. He got an assist against
He's
Tottenham. I think he
shit,
got an
man.
assist last game as well. He's a shit player. Um, I don't know. He missed that penalty. It was the last time I think I was at that game as well. But
And what do you think of Sancho's goal against Ipswich? Enough for you to buy him?
I mean, for 25 million, yeah, I think
Thank
it
you.
is. It's fine.
I
Like
like
I
you.
said to you before, even before this goal, I would have bought him for 25 million.
Yeah.
We just need players with a bit of age.
I was going to
I don't
say
want to sign
I saw a Sky
Most
Sports
teams
thing. You were
do.
looking at Delap as your next striker option.
I mean, he
Yeah.
looked good. He looked good. He looks good. But again, he's young. I want Osimhen, but I don't think we're gonna get Osimhen.
Yeah, I have the exact same opinion as him, by the way. For us.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get Osimhen, unfortunately. So and Mudryk as
Yegresh.
well. I don't think Mudryk's gonna play for us again or whatever. He's got some crazy ban.
Where is he?
Where's the ban come into effect, or
I
is it
think so. I
just?
haven't seen him in ages. Or is there a court hearing? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Wait,
it might
what,
have just
wait,
been.
wait, wait. What happened to? I
It
forgot
was
about him.
doping, was it not?
Yeah, some doping
Oh, oh
nonsense.
God.
Yeah.
So I saw a tweet and it was like, "What happens if you
Jesus.
dope and it doesn't actually work? Can you get a refund?" And it was a picture of Mudryk. It's
I think it
like,
only worked short-term effect against that Liverpool game because he sold us a dream there. Um,
What a waste of
again,
money.
what a waste of money.
Yeah.
Same with
and then what
Farmer.
happened to the contract? Because didn't you not sign him on like a 15 million year contract
Probably.
I wonder if you
with?
get paid. If you get paid for, is there like a doping like part of the
I'm not
contract
sure.
where
We
if you
need to
dope, you
find out
don't?
what happened with the last real like doping or like drug thing. It was probably
Pogba,
Rio
wasn't it?
Ferdinand when he missed the
Yeah.
drugs test, didn't he? Didn't he like lose
And
like
he's
a year?
back.
Colo
Yeah.
Torre had one as well. Yeah, guys, I know what you lot think of Chelsea, but it's just the drop off's been crazy. The
It has
decline
been
since
weird. You were near us at like the top two for Liverpool, and
we're
then all of a sudden you
we're
But
just
above
this is
you.
what we said. There's always one team come sort. It was Spurs last year, like top of the league in like November, December time, and then they just didn't win a game in about 15. And then obviously Chelsea were up there, and they went on that horrendous run. Like
But the run
it
I
hasn't
mean,
happens
ended
every
though.
year.
That's the issue.
I mean,
I
I've
don't
been
think.
following your like games, like your position, because I want for some reason I just want Man City not to be in the Champions League. So it is, if you're not going to beat Ipswich at home, then it just tells me enough. Like
Game's
I
over.
think City will get the spot because I was looking at I've actually looked at your run-ins and a lot of you guys are playing each other, but Man City only have to play Villa. Like that's the only team amongst the race that they have to play. And aside from that, then City will just capitalize on teams playing each other. So that's why I'm worried. I wish you beat Ipswich. That you have to beat Ipswich at home. So I think City will
I mean,
get that
I
They
spot.
wish.
didn't
I
even
wish
beat him
we
away.
did. No, they beat us away 2-0 or 3-0, something ridiculous. So when you're losing
Ipswich.
there,
Yeah,
yeah.
they lost
I
it.
told
Oh,
you we've not
Lost
we've,
away.
we've taken
he
one
didn't win
point all
against
season. We've
Ipswich this
taken
season. Oh
yeah,
no,
it's
that's bad.
terrible. Just just seeing what happens. We'll see what happens on Thursday as well.
Yeah.
Who-
Moving on to you. Comments from Nemanja Matic in the week, leading to the
Unfortunate.
Onana show. And then
Yeah.
Sunday rolls around and you put Bayendier in goal and the Bayendier show rolls around. So
Just want to say I
take
was right. I was right the whole time. By the way, I'm
About
playing about De Gea. I was right.
so you think De Gea should be, two things can exist at once. De Gea not being a keeper and Onana being a bad signing, for example, if
No,
that's what
but
you
because we argued so many like podcasts like videos over this, like I was right. I think I've won that argument now. That
how?
you're better off keeping De Gea than having Onana.
How much
No,
did you
I'll
sign
explain.
Onana for?
Havana, oh, na,
No, we signed it for 50 million. I'll explain why
And
having someone like Onana is better than De Gea, even when both were making mistakes. De Gea, this isn't about De Gea when he was at his best, because at his best, he's probably one of the best keepers of all time. But basically, with De Gea, not only was he not like doing his thing that he's good at, which is shot stopping, he was making errors just like Onana is. But we have to compromise the style of play because he can't play out from the back. Onana has not done it well, by the way, playing out from the back, but he can still do it to an acceptable level, to the system that we're trying to
But
implement.
you just say he's not very good.
No, he's not great shot stopper, but so was De Gea towards the end. He wasn't great either. Like he was doing the same blunders in
okay,
important
so
games, by the way. This is the
I don't
problem with
think it
us.
was many as Onana, to be
Chavez,
honest.
can I just weigh in a little bit, Chavez?
Yeah.
Just
if you're
with
lucky.
numbers. So you said you spent £50 million on Onana. Roughly, De Gea was on 375 grand a week, according to Google, right? Times that by 52, obviously for a year. That's 19.5 million pounds. So you would have been an extra £30 million. And as you're saying, like you could have put the money elsewhere, or I know it's unfortunate, and no one wanted this to happen, but
Mm.
for the gamble that they're taken, would you say he's one of your worst
No, because
signings?
no,
No,
absolutely.
like
Dan,
look, in
we're the
recent
team that's
times.
on Anthony, Sancho. Like what? We're that bad that we
He's
haven't.
up there. He's made more mistakes than
But the
them.
amount of games that he's cost you, do you not think, like not obviously of all time,
Champions
over the
League
last
last
sort of
year,
No,
Europa Leagues. Like,
obviously, like in terms of like, okay, what Onana has cost us is the Champions League that year, and so far, if we go out, then the Europa League. De Gea has cost. Obviously, he's been here longer, but it's not a simple case of De Gea is just like better for now. Obviously, overall, De Gea's career and everything, he's better than Onana, better servant for United. But either way, going into the actual like the Leon game, I don't think Leon were that good. I thought they'd be better. We got sold a dream on Rayan Cherki, who did score to be fair, but he wasn't like I don't
couldn't
think he
miss.
took the don't think he like took the audition that well because it was very clear he knew he was in an audition because he was running around more than I've ever seen him run around. And now I think at Old Trafford he'll run around even more because he knows the world will be watching him. But aside from that, I thought Bruno was outstanding. The one moment that came from him, Xerxes came on, and all my friends, all of us, were big fans of Xerxes purely because we don't like Hoyland. Seeing Hoyland on the pitch, I don't think a player has upset me seeing a player on a pitch more than Hoyland has. I think Fellaini used to sometimes when he used to
Yeah.
come on. But I think Hoyland is the worst footballer I've ever seen with the football in my life. And bear in mind, I used to say that about Wan-Bissaka. So we've gone from Wan-Bissaka to Hoyland. And I think Wan-Bissaka is actually better than Hoyland with the ball. So it's a shambles. It's all gone haywire with him. And then he came on, and obviously we weren't going to score. In the second game, which was against Newcastle. Before the Newcastle game, I'll just tell you, I said if you told me Newcastle beat us 3-0 tonight, I would snap your hands off for it because as long as it's not historical. And I thought scoring a goal and losing 4-1 was a very good result for us because it's not a historical result. Newcastle didn't make history beating us 7-8-0 because genuinely it was all set up for that. Newcastle are playing for something, we're not playing for anything. Our already stupid squad was rested. So we're in a B team, half a B team when we're already quite poor in the league. So it was always inevitable. I mean, their midfield was going to devour us. Who started in midfield? Christian Eriksen. When their midfield, I love their midfield. They're dogs. Gimaresh, Tonali, and Joe Linton. And you played that guy, Eriksen. And I'm not blaming Amram, by the way. He doesn't have many options. He has to rest, right? So we were going to get devoured. Lindelof started. Lindelof was captain for a certain period of that game. So it was 4-1 for me is a beautiful result, knowing what I know about my club. Obviously, people have now used this game to say there is now a section of the fan base that wants Amram out. They say they don't think they've seen enough for us to be funding him money in the summer to continue. That's waffle. We've bought into him. We have to pay out Ten Hag and pay in for him. We have to commit to him, and I'm full trust in him. I think he, like anyone who's come in, is trying to do their best with what they know and how they have been taught growing up. And now it's all down. Our biggest game of the season is on Thursday. If we go out, our season's over. The pressure will build on Amram. I don't think there is any scenario where Amram can be sacked, but I think coming 17th, which is something we can do if we lose all our games, and not getting Europa would put a lot of pressure on the
Give him a
guy.
tough start to the start of next season. Do you reckon he'll be gone by sort of like September, October if he ends badly and starts poorly? Do you reckon?
I still think, Dan, I've been talking very positive. I thought the actual way we play, the style of play, has been implemented. We just don't have the personnel to carry it out. We've seen it in the last few games. Well, we're not even winning, by the way. We lost to Forest through Elanga's moment. We drew to City, and then we drew to Leon. In those three games, I thought we've been quite good. Our performance levels have been okay. We just have an issue. We can't score goals. We're not very clinical. And bearing in mind, Garnacho actually scored. I could not believe he finished that chance. So well done to him. I really hope he can find some form because right now, I mean, I watched the Champions League. You guys have watched the highlights. I watched these teams play, and I'm like in awe, like my jaw's on the floor, seeing players score goals that I didn't
Play
even think
football.
5 seconds ago. 5 seconds ago, I would be like, I could not have seen that happening. With us, we can see it 10 seconds before that this is what you do. You pass it there and you score, and we don't do it. So to see that level, the gap in how chance conversion is extraordinary between a Garnacho and Hoyland versus what's going on in Europe right now. The
I was
level in
gonna
the
say,
Champions League is higher.
I was gonna touch
Who's
on
in it?
like,
Oh god.
oh sorry, this could be me being very very optimistic or very very nice, and I'm sure you'll have an opinion on this. I thought Xerxes looked okay. So maybe that was me comparing him to
Yeah, I love
Hoyland
Xerxes. I
in
love
their
Xerxes.
first
But
60 minutes or whatever he got in the Newcastle game. Like his link up play looked all right. Like
yeah,
he looked, I think competent would probably
no,
be the
he's
word to
a
use.
good footballer, and we're a team that lacks good footballers like on the ball. So he's obviously going to stand out. And when his competitor is the complete opposite, by the way, as I said, aesthetically watching, whatever you want to call him, Hoyland on the ball genuinely makes you want to switch off the television, and that's not like a joke. Genuinely, like you watch him with the ball, and you don't want to watch football anymore. So Xerxes now is out. See, I don't know if you guys know he pulled his
Oh no,
hamstring.
no.
Hoyland, he pulled his hamstring in the same game, Dan. So now Rasmus is going to be our striker possibly for the rest of the season. Hoyland could do whatever he wants. He can, I don't know, do anything. He will play every game. Same like Garnacho. These guys can have bad performances. They have to play because we have no one else. So we're in a bad position. Amram's doing the best he can. They just need to put everything in to this Lyon game and get a result because we are genuinely got we won that game 2-0 against Lyon. It was just Onana's mistakes. And some other players, Yoro's stepped up. I think he's been very good. Dalot, who's a very criticized player, has been playing well. Mazraoui's been okay as a right centre back. Players are stepping up. We just need to win. Whatever it takes, win on Thursday.
I think that was, I suppose, I was going to say really it for shocks. I mean, in terms of Liverpool, like as Elliot, we've all sort of agreed now. Like Liverpool won the league. They need to win 2 games out of
Yeah,
what, 6, or
Yeah.
they need Arsenal to drop points. And again, if Arsenal do get
it's
through
more than
on
likely.
Wednesday, if you get through on Wednesday, you're going to be, as you said, resting players. Like Arteta, as much as he won't go in an interview, yeah, Liverpool are champions. Do you know what I mean? Everyone is aware of what's going on. Um, the Spurs losing 4-2 to Wolves was quite funny, considering that was what should have been a relegation 6 pointer if the bottom three weren't incompetent.
Do you know if Salah scores 3 more goals in the league and gets 2 more assists, he becomes the first ever player in history to score 30 goals and 20 assists in any top five league in a season. Messi almost did it. Messi got 50 goals and 19 assists, but not 20. So Salah would be the first to get
So
20 assists and 30 goals.
Fair play.
That's a
what's
joke.
Salah on as
That's a
assist
joke.
wise? 18. What's the
18, he's on
record
27
again?
goals.
Is he got the record? No.
Yeah, he's matched the record. He's now even most GNA, or he's got the most GNA.
Oh,
One or the
I
other.
meant because what was De Bruyne's assist record? I probably could Google it to be fair, because it was De Bruyne and
19.
Henri matched it. Yeah, but again, Liverpool's
Yeah, so
running.
he's
Like
going to
he's
be
gonna.
everything. If he carries on, he's going to be everything. And then
But if they've got Leicester next, he's gonna do it next game. They've got Leicester next
yeah,
game.
in this week they got Van Dijk signed a contract, Salah signed the contract, and then they both scored. And like Salah got an assist. So like it's just
Liverpool's next
dreamland.
3 games. Okay, oh, fairly easy. No disrespect. They've got Leicester away, Spurs at home, and Chelsea away. Like,
Chelsea way is the hardest.
and that's the thing. As Amir said earlier, like you very hit and miss. You don't know what Chelsea team's going to turn up. So I
So
think
should we do
that.
predictions for the Champions League? I want to hear what El has to say.
What
Go
do you
on,
want me
Elliot.
to
For the
say?
game,
What do you want me to
or we're
say?
doing the winners
With
overall.
your brain, not your heart. What do you think is going to happen on Wednesday?
We'll
With
go
what
through
you
it.
know.
We, we,
Yeah, but
we'll
like
go through it.
how? Like what?
We might. I reckon we'll lose 2-1.
Hmm. 2-1 in normal time. Well, it has to be normal time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amir?
I think Arsenal will go through, but they'll bottle it in the semis.
But like, you think they'll win on the night?
A draw on the night.
Really? I think he's rating you now.
I can't believe it. I know. He saw
That's
the
a
he saw
draw.
the golden magic against them
He's
on
shook.
last week, and he's like, "That's
Yeah,
crazy."
he's shook
I
by
am
a lot.
shook. I need to. I'm in my nest at the moment because if Inter or Bayern go through, I watched Bayern Dortmund on the weekend, and Bayern didn't look great either. So I'm a
No,
bit
they're
shook.
I was
shit.
gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say though, but like,
And Inter is doable, so they might have a. They can have a route to the final, which is making me very shook. Because I always
this is
said
what
to
I was
El and I
gonna say.
said to the boys as well, they're one Champions League away from being biggest club in London again.
Yeah, that's scary. Dan, what about you?
This is what I was going to say. Like, realistically, I genuinely think one of the 4 teams is going to stage a comeback. And if you're narrowing it down, it's not going to Dortmund are 4-0 down, like they're out of the picture.
Dortmund is shit, man.
But Aston Villa, realistically, the fact it's PSG, if it was anyone else, you could probably argue, or Madrid, obviously, you could probably argue. But the fact it's 3-1 to PSG and therefore it's going to be a no.
Is
It's
there Villa
probably,
Park?
It's at Villa
It's
Park,
at
yeah.
it's at Villa Park though. You
I
never
mean,
know.
2-0 ain't like.
I genuinely, as I said before the podcast, if Martinez doesn't make that mistake, fumble it and kick, like it goes out for a corner and they score pretty much straight from it, and they go 1-0 again, they still could have
It's
scored the
all to
three
play
goals.
for. Yeah.
It's a different game. They go 1-0 up at half time, completely different game. I reckon it'll be Bayern to make the comeback. As you said, they've been poor, but 2-1. It is at Inter.
Inter
I
good
reckon
though.
Arsenal will go through as well. I can't see them throwing it away as much as we
So
said it
you
would.
all put Arsenal through it. Oh, I actually think you're going to go through, but not in like an easy. I think you're going to have a very stressful night, buddy. 3-0 loss on the
Um,
night, penalty
Madrid,
shootout.
Madrid are favourites as well to win the game.
They could
Yeah,
win the
win the
game, but we
game.
still
Yeah,
go
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
I think Madrid and it will always take its extra time. The way they are, the history, the satanic whatever institution they are, somehow referees on their side, you will feel depressed watching that game. If you saw Mbappe got a one-match ban for that bullshit, by the way, that's pure GBH on the pitch. You should watch the tackle.
I
So
know
I
it's
think
fucking embarrassing. Yeah.
this will be
I swear.
defense. This will be like against the dark arts. This game for you, like you'll hate it. I
Thing is,
think it'll
Warplay, we
take
have
it.
dark arts. You're rolling us
Yeah,
out. We don't think we have dark arts.
listen, I think you'll take it to extra time. I think you'll take it to penalties, and I actually think it would. It will be horrifying to watch, though. You won't enjoy it. But that's my
What
opinion.
do you
I don't
think,
know.
Dan?
No, I reckon you'll go through it. I reckon Bayern will be the team to come back from 2-1 down. I reckon you'll go through. Not comfortably. I reckon, as you said, like a 2-1. I reckon you could go one up, or they'll go to 1-1 and they'll score and still make it nervy. Like, yeah, I don't think I can't see I can't see it being a 10-0 Arsenal win.
What's stopping Arsenal going 11 men behind the ball? Like,
Madrid will still score.
Wait, who
You
Arsenal?
can't
Who
play
do they
11.
play next game if they win?
PSG or
PSG
Villa or Villa.
or Villa.
No,
is
no
it?
disrespect.
I thought they had Inter. I thought they
No,
had
that's the
It's
No.
other
already been
side.
done.
Other
Yeah.
side.
Oh, no disrespect to you. I know you're having a great run, but the two best teams in world football to watch are PSG and Barcelona right now. I think that would be for me. The way they play. Oh my God! Like
And it's almost that. It's almost
no,
that
no,
thing.
no.
Like,
That'd be an incredible final. I'm sorry, like from a pure footballing point of view.
I was going to say before we end as well. You look at like trophy runs and cup runs, and you go, "Oh well, they've had an easy run, this, that, and the other." Do you know what I mean? If Arsenal can go through with the new
It'd be
format,
crazy. Yeah.
beating PSG, beating Madrid, and then potentially Barcelona in the final, I don't think anyone, as Amir said, like the biggest club in
That's
London or
better than
whatever.
Chelsea. That's better than Chelsea's one. That remember you had a good run as well, didn't you? In your recent one, you played like Madrid, Man
Madrid,
City.
Atletico,
Yeah.
City.
I think that does bring us
Yeah.
to the end, though. So, Elliot,
Yeah.
your fate will be decided come Wednesday, and we will see you next week for
Oh,
the
any
next episode.
final?
The
Oh,
Gooners. Nah, we're gonna win it. We're
before we
straight
go.
through. Don't worry about us.
Arteta out this week.
In.
That could well change next week. Thank you very much for watching, and until next week, goodbye.